It wasn't difficult to sneak into Aunt Ginny's room. Dogwood House didn't have locks, save for the front door of the house and the attached cottage. Orion was there to look innocent in case they were caught, and Fred's job was to grab the letters hidden in his mother's old trunk. Something as wrong as thievery should have been more difficult, but it had gone without a hitch, except for the larger difficulty of reading them, expertly thwarted by the death of one Norma Lynn Colomen. The guests were shown their rooms, Corinne and Joey in one room in the basement, the boys in another. They all three had to share a bed, especially considering Celeste got to sleep upstairs. And what a room Rose had, with her pretty quilt blanket that Rose boasted her and Mrs. Crosby had quilted together, her set of books and her pressed flowers and golden diamond paper on the walls, and that tea set for her doll. Nobody could say that Oscar was talentless. Wooded Hills House had never looked better, and the man had earned his small notoriety as head of Crosby and Son construction firm. 2. Nobody could say that Mrs. Ora Crosby wasn't the best cook and homemaker for miles. Though nothing could stop Celeste Tolliver from thinking these Crosbys quite overt in their success. She believed them quite braggy and spoiled as mother and daughter prepared the repast meal. It was the first time in Celeste's life that she realized her own home of Dogwood House was quite shabby, old-fashioned, maybe even ugly. These were not thoughts that crossed the boys' minds. They behaved as if this were any other house. So thoughtless, careless. At least Celeste had her self-respect. Unlike Rose Crosby, who, despite her pretty house, still dirtied her knees playing boy-like games like marbles. All the etiquette guides said it was unladylike to play such games, or whistle, or chew gum. And she'd seen Rose Crosby do all of those things. Ridiculous girl. Really, it was too much. The way everyone crowded around Uncle Oscar to listen to stories, nobody should call anyone uncle who wasn't. The way they let the babies play all day without discipline. Or Orion dig around like a dog searching for an old treasure he heard Gopo Joey say he buried in the yard, and the cousins. On the swing set, they were here for a funeral, not a gallivant. She told Orion exactly what she thought when he found her in the garden, and after her tirade he said the most ridiculous thing of all. You must be jealous. Aunt Ginny says, you're the jealous type. Jealous? Her? Impossible. Of course, horrid Aunt Ginny would say that. The witch. She trusted what Orion said. He knew everything that people said. Orion had a quiet foot, and ears that listened. On the stairs, Orion heard Atlas say to Oscar that Atlas was Aura's half-brother. He heard Aura say to Calvin he was as cute as a button. He heard Aunt Ginny say Fred hadn't been washing his face. He heard Gopo tell Omi that he wished Wooded Hills had this much life when he was a boy, and he was proud of his brother, whoever that was. At Norma's funeral, Orion heard it all. Someone said it was a shame that Atlas never married, hung up on some girl he met in the desert. Someone named Julia was upset Norma never paid back her $1. Orion learned Gopo and Norma had grown up together and he still had regrets. He learned Oscar had been turned down by someone named Ivy. He heard someone say they would all be Germans in a decade. And he saw Oscar cry over his mother's casket when he thought nobody was looking. It stormed in the days after the funeral. Orion added his findings to his mental collection, with a few more in those heavy rains. The children had been sent off to entertain themselves, and the mischief they found was in the letters Fred and Orion brought with them. They hadn't dared get caught, and in the solemn mood of death, well, the opportunity arose. I don't feel right reading these, isn't it wrong? Celeste agreed, but said, I told you all. Rose can't be trusted. She'd tattle on us. You can't keep a secret, Rose Crosby. Yes, I can, but this is lying. Don't you think I have the right to know what my father writes? My mother only reads the nice parts aloud to us. Rosie, all secrets are a kind of lying, and we all have a right to our secrets. This feels wrong even for us. It did feel wrong, but not as wrong as not knowing what was really happening in a war, even if they were only children.